On the quiet night of May 23, 1974, the sprawling Ramstein Air Base in West Germany, the largest U.S. military installation outside of American soil, was humming with the usual rhythm of Cold War vigilance. Tensions with the Soviet Union were high, and every blip on a radar screen had the potential to ignite something catastrophic. But what happened that night wasn't part of any Cold War exercise. It wasn't a Soviet aircraft. It wasn't a weather balloon. And it wasn't, by any conventional understanding, human. At exactly 10:30 p.m., an unidentified flying object was picked up on radar, approaching Ramstein's restricted airspace from the north. The object's behavior was immediately flagged as anomalous. It hovered, darted, stopped mid-air, then accelerated in ways that defied both gravity and physics. Witnesses described it as metallic, disc-shaped, and eerily silent. Not a single engine noise, no sonic boom. Anti-air defenses were scrambled. 2 Chaparral missiles were prepared to intercept. But before they could be fired, the object simply vanished from radar. Communications equipment began to fail across the base. Radios emitted only static. Monitors flickered. One radar technician reportedly collapsed, whispering something unintelligible. They're already inside. The military went into full lockdown. Surveillance aircraft were launched. At 3:12 a.m., a recon unit discovered something deep in a wooded area about 7 miles north of the base. It wasn't a crash exactly, more like a controlled landing. The craft sat embedded in soft earth, as if placed there by careful hands. No crater, no burn marks, just a faint hum, like a heartbeat made of electricity. The object was roughly 30 feet in diameter, shaped like a bulbous teardrop. Its surface was smooth, black, and impossibly reflective, as though absorbing the very light around it. A faint mist clung to its surface, and the surrounding air was unnaturally cold. Trees around the site showed signs of radiation burns, but strangely, no radiation was detected by instruments. A Geiger counter reportedly melted after being placed on the craft's surface. When a team from Miso Army Depot arrived with specialized equipment, they managed to open a hatch along the side. What they found inside would never be officially acknowledged. There were 4 beings inside. Humanoid, roughly 3.5 feet tall, with elongated limbs, oversized craniums, and large black eyes that seemed to reflect a depth beyond comprehension. They were dead, or at least motionless. No blood, no visible injuries. But their skin was warm. Some described a faint metallic pulse beneath the surface, like a machine struggling to breathe. The air inside the craft was thick and sweet, like rotting flowers. Several soldiers became violently ill. One never spoke again. Another claimed, under sedation, that he'd seen the world end the moment he touched the beings. By dawn, the craft and the bodies were airlifted to a classified location, believed by some to be Area 51, others say S4, a shadowy facility buried beneath the Nevada desert. All personnel involved were sworn to secrecy under the highest clearance levels. Medical records, mission logs, and radio tapes were either destroyed or locked away under need-to-know classification. Years later, Richard Doty, a former U.S. Air Force intelligence officer, broke the silence. He claimed the Ramstein incident was real, and that the craft was so intact, it was actually test-flown by American engineers. But every time they powered it up, strange things happened. Animals nearby would flee. Compasses spun uncontrollably, and some engineers claimed to hear voices in languages they didn't recognize. The US government has never officially acknowledged what happened at Ramstein that night. But those who were there, or who knew someone who was, remember the fear, the silence, the deep, unshakable sense that we are not alone, and that something alien had brushed against our reality, only to vanish into secrecy. Stories like these always raise one chilling possibility. Not just that we've been visited, but that we've been studied, and maybe even judged. The Ramstein incident stands out because of how methodical it felt, how the object behaved, how intact it was, how little damage was left behind. It didn't crash by accident. It came for a reason, and maybe it wanted us to know it was here. What do you think? Was this a Soviet experiment gone wrong? A carefully staged psyop? Or was it an encounter with a non-human intelligence far beyond our understanding? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you've ever witnessed something you couldn't explain, we want to hear your story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay curious. Because sometimes, the truth doesn't hide in the stars. Sometimes, it crashes right here on Earth.